when it comes to inspiring the youth and inspiring everybody else, you got to set the tone. You know, you got to set the standard, because if I'm not going to set the tone for people like me or the younger generation that don't have many options, who else is going to do it? And I come from a background of absolutely nothing. So if I can come from nothing to being this worldwide phenomenon, why can't they?
Zion Clark is the executive producer of a new film called Foster Dreams. It'll help reform the foster system. He's also training to become the very first Olympic and Paralympic athlete. Please welcome the inspiring Zion Clark. I think it's easy to be blown away and amazed. You got out there wrestling with these guys and beat them, and they must have at first looked at you and said, well, this is going to be easy. I'll take him. Did they think that?
Oh, yeah, they definitely thought that. But in the words of my mother, she was like, you don't know him, but you're about to, so.
How incredibly tough was it to realize that you had so many challenges physically that so many people would have just said, Zion, the best you can hope for is just be, sitting in a chair the rest of your life and let people feed you and let people take care of you. What was it that clicked in you and you said, nope, that ain't gonna be my future?
I mean, man, since I was a little kid, I went to the foster care system. I didn't really have a support system. But here's the thing, a lot of kids, kids see someone do something, they're like, I'm gonna try it. Now, we might not be the best at it, but you're gonna try it. And for me, it's as much as like wrestling or riding a bike or, just being outside, Everybody thought I want to be in the chair. Dude, I can run 13 miles an hour on my hands. Like, why would I want to be stuck in a chair?
You run 13 miles an hour on your hands.
I'm getting close to it, just about.
You might be able to outrun Keith Bilbrey at that speed. I think you could. I'm pretty sure. There have probably been people all your life who have underestimated you. And even now, as you're preparing to get into the Olympics, that would be historic. I mean, it would be absolutely mind-boggling. But I think about it not so much from what it would accomplish for you. I'm thinking about what it would do to inspire young people who say, I can't. And they look at you and they say, maybe I can.
Exactly. For me, I took the bar and I broke it down, I reset it. And now, for me personally, I want to be the baddest athlete on the planet. But here's the thing. When it comes to inspiring the youth and inspiring everybody else, you got to set the tone. You got to set the standard. Because if I'm not going to set the tone for people like me or the younger generation that don't have many options, who else is going to do it? And I come from a background of absolutely nothing. So if I can come from nothing to being this worldwide phenomenon, why can't they? Why can't they have the option too?
One of your passions is in the foster care system, and you've produced a documentary called Foster Dreams. You got basically passed around in the foster care system. Mm-hmm. It's a miracle that you came out of that with ambition and a desire to succeed, because a lot of kids are crushed by it. Why were you able to overcome what does, in fact, destroy the heart and soul of a lot of kids?
I have to thank my family for that. Being adopted into a family, even though it was late, was very crucial for me. And, having a family that pushes you to be better and that doesn't look at you as different really kind of helped me get a hold of who I was. I used to be that kid that wanted to quit, but I'm going to tell you the story. My mom, I'm a multiple-time track and field state champ and multiple-time national champion. And I remember in high school, I tried to quit, and I would go hang out with my friends and tell my mom I would come home from practice after she told me, oh, how's practice? I was like, oh, it was good. But then one day, my coach showed up at my house. I'm getting back from hanging out with my friends, and I see coach's car in the driveway, and I'm just like, oh, man. And so I sit there, and my mom's like, listen, you can't hang out with your friends, you can't do nothing. Because if you're a Clark nut, so you gotta keep pushing, and I'm not gonna let you quit, because I was struggling at the time. I wasn't moving fast, I wasn't doing well, But then she was literally like, you either do this or you do nothing. So I was like, okay, cool. Next thing you know, I became a multiple-time state champion and 4-time placer while setting the state record. So it was about the people around me and the family setting and the good people around me to push me to be a better version of myself.
How old were you when you got out of the foster system and you were adopted into a family that gave you the kind of love, support, and encouragement that you've just described?
I was 17.
17. Wow. But did you give up on being adopted and being a part of a family?
Well, without a doubt, you know, when I was getting kicked out of my last home, you know, I was just kind of like, I don't really care. It's like, they're like, get out. I was like, okay, bye. Like, that's how I felt. And, you know, I didn't really care where I ended up. I just really cared about, all right, look, I'm still alive, I'm here, and that's good enough for me. And so when I got taken in, you know, the foster system, they said that they've exhausted all their resources. They said I was a problem child. Dude, I had all these court cases and I had all this other crap going on. And they were just like, this is a very bad kid. And I was, but I wasn't, you know, just what a bad kid, what do you define a bad kid as? Usually kids that are bad need guidance. And that's all I needed. And so with that guidance, you see the man that sits in front of you today.
You know, I hope everybody understands that your adopted mother and family who loved you, I mean, I just can't even begin to imagine how much impact that's had. Now you're helping to change the foster system. We only have a few seconds left, Zion, but what would be the magic wand to fix what is a very broken foster care system in this country?
I would say what we're doing with Foster Nation, and especially Foster Dreams, out in Liberty City in Miami, we had a gracious donation from this bishop and a church for a plot of land where we're gonna start doing amazing things on to change the lives of these kids. Everybody here can support any way that we can. We're looking for donations, we're looking for supporters. And I think that in the next phase of what we're doing, we're gonna help thousands and thousands of kids.
Can't wait to see the film that you're working on called Foster Dreams. And I just want to say thanks for being here. Thanks for encouraging, inspiring us. We're going to be watching you for the Olympics and the Paralympics. Make history for all of us to be encouraged by it.
Thank you.
What an honor to have Zion Clark here with us. His message is, you and only you are in control of your destiny, so no excuses, no shortcuts. Hey, Mike Huckabee here. Listen, if you love your mom, apple pie, and being conservative, you know you ought to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and click the like button, and show all the leftists out there that conservatives are thriving and patriotism is far from dead. Am I pandering too much? No way. I'm just getting started.